and greeting to society. My name is Tracy Anaaga. In this video, our group will presenting one of the construction issue that reported and published on the internet, which is the crane accident at a construction site in Malaysia. Crane is a site construction equipment which widely used in the construction sector. It is used to move and transport thousands of pound material. The most used type of crane in construction work in Malaysia is tower crane and mobile crane. The crane accident in construction site, if there any mishandling of crane, it will definitely lead to an accident. The downside is that crane accident can and do happen. Therefore, the equipment poses a risk not only to the construction worker but also outside of the construction site.
Hi, I am Minefreduya. Today I'd like to share with you about two cases of accident involving cranes that happened in our country. The first case are about the crane accident that happened this year. This is the second fatal incident at the highway project this month, which is on 22 March. 3 Chinese national workers were reported killed in the accident as the workers fell some 120 feet when the launcher crane gave way. 2 of the men died instantly, while the third died later. Rescue teams are still working to recover the body of the third worker that day. Kuala Lumpur Fire and Rescue Department Chief Norden Muhammad Pauzi stated that stability issues and the crane's weight made collecting the third body at the accident site in Cheras district challenging. According to authorities, the crane landed on a passing Perdua Beza automobile, gravely injuring the driver. Meanwhile, 2 other workers have been rescued. The crane was one of several enormous equipment employed in the construction of the Sungai Besi Ulu Klang Elevated Expressway, or SUKE, which connects southern Kuala Lumpur with the Federal Territories East. Another crane-related accident was an accident in Section 7 Shah Alam where 1 dead and 3 injured after crane boom collapsed at ICT construction site on 2nd January 2018, which has happened about 3 years ago. In this incident, a foreign construction site worker was killed while 3 others seriously injured after they were struck by a falling crane component. This incident happened in the morning, when the crane boom arms hit the 4 victims, 2 Indonesian and 2 Bangladesh. They were working on plot 3 of the ICT construction site. Matrias, a 38-year-old Indonesian, was identified as the dead and was pronounced dead shortly after arriving at the Shah Alam hospital, while Sudawi, an Indonesian national, and 2 Bangladesh nationals, Tofazal Hussain and Raja Miah, were the other victims. The 2 Indonesian victims were rushed to the hospital, where one of them was pronounced dead, while the other victim was treated after breaking both his legs, said Shah Alam Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Shafian Mamat. 2 other victims, both Bangladesh nationals, were airlifted to the Tengku Ampuan Rahimah Hospital in Klang, where they are being treated for fractured legs. Then, the Selangor Department of Occupational Safety and Health (DOSH) has ordered that work at a construction site in Section 7 Shah Alam be halted immediately to allow for an inquiry into a crane fall that day.
Hello sir, my name is Shafia Shahada binti Muhammad Shafiq. Next, I will talk about the statistics of the case elaboration. The highest number of non-permanent and permanent disabilities due to building site accidents in the previous 4 years occurred in 2015 with 138 and 11 casualties respectively. On 2018, the report revealed a high death rate with 118 deaths in a year. The company engaged in accident tend to avoid reporting the accident to DOSH in order to obtain 0 ranking of lost time injury and avoid accident in registration, resulting in discrepancy in data gathering from source code and DOSH. Next is the number of crane incident decrease. The number of crane accident is reduced since DOSH has implemented precautionary measures to limit the number of crane incidents. Lastly is tower crane. The tower crane is one of the most essential mechanical systems utilized to construct multi-story buildings with greater construction sites in general.
My name is Nurul Nafisa binti Harun and I'll present the causes of crane accidents in Malaysia. According to the Malaysian Department of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH, every year an accident caused by crane operation occurs. From the findings, we have identified a few possible causes of crane accidents in Malaysia. First factor is classified as human error, where it is usually caused by insufficient work supervision and poor communication between the crane operators and the site foreman. In consequence, the operator may have given incorrect control commands that were not implemented correctly by the site foreman. Second, hazardous and weather conditions. This issue was caused by the crane operator's poor visibility, and it will make lifting operations more difficult. Third, safety management. Safety management is the second leading cause of crane accidents in Malaysia, owing to insufficient preventive maintenance on the crane and the crane being operated by the incompetent person. And last but not least, operational and technical failure. The most serious negligence in the accidents was the lifting of the excessive loads at the end of the crane, which was greater than the load required by a code of practice.
Hello sir, my name is Emma Soel. Today I'm going to talk about precaution. Crane are used for heavy lifting and can make transporting a large load significantly easier to construction workers. Consequently, a significant number of construction sites rely on crane to speed up and ease the work required. To carry out the crane operation safely, employers should appropriate train all workers or employees so they will have legal responsibility to provide appropriate health and safety training to all employees so they are competent at their job. Other than that, employer need to ensure clear warning signal are displayed on the site when needed. Employer must display the relevant hazard sign in all danger zone and site to warn workers of the potential of hazard. Apart from that, employer must also ensure all the employees know and understand all the warning signs so they are aware of when they're entering a danger zone. Lastly, employer must know the ground of the site condition, whether it's stable as the surface upon within the crane stand. Employer also should know the classification for the soil or other material under the crane and adjust the setup and load limits. While many cranes are equipped without trigger, extending them does not necessarily mean that the crane provides a stable surface. It is important to know the load weight and how this is affected by the condition of job site. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Amza bin Abdullah and I will present about conclusion. In conclusion, crane accident, including fatalities and serious injuries, will occur if cranes are not inspected, maintained, and used properly. These accidents are one of the causes of construction workers' deaths. Causes of this accident include cranes buckling or collapsing. Cranes have weight limit to make sure they are doing not tip over. Cranes conjointly use counterweight and outrigging system to counterbalance the burden. If the weight limits are exceeded, the crane can tip over or the boom could collapse. Many fatalities occur when the crane boom and load line or the load contacts power lines, shorting electricity to ground. Other than that, accidents happen when workers are struck by the load, are caught inside those swing ridges, or when the crane is assembled or disassembled incorrectly. There are always to help reduce crane accident, such as crane must be operated by only qualified and trained personnel. Other than that, the crane and crane control must be inspected by a designated competent person before use. Lastly, crane must be on firm and must be level. That's all from me. Thank you.